Most practitioners look at the Shams al-Ma'arif of Ahmad al-Buni and sees nothing but dead geometry, historical ink, and theoretical magic squares. They lack the eyes to see because they have never sat in the Kalwa, spiritual isolation. They have never felt the temperature in the room drop as a Khadim answers a recitation, nor have they worn a ring that throbs with a bond entity's presence. For 17 years, I have walked this path. The greatest secret a practitioner learns over nearly 2 decades is this: the unseen world does not operate on human time, but it never misses its mark. The threshold of reality and the law of the cycle. Before you read a single formula in this book, before you watch a single video on my channel, you must hear these warnings. This is not a game. This is not a philosophy or a psychological trick to bind confidence. The esoteric system of Ahmad al-Buni is a literal mathematical science of the unseen. I am telling you now, with the absolute gravity of 17 years of experience, if you perform these rituals correctly, it does not matter if you believe in them or not, you will summon an entity. The spiritual laws do not care about your skepticism. The moment the conditions are met, the gates are open. If you lack the mental fortress, the spiritual purity, or the raw courage to stand your ground when reality breaks, do not start. I will repeat, do not start. Close this book. Click away from this video, because once a gate is open, you cannot simply turn it off. At least, simply turn it off. Even though you can, but it is not simple. The danger of the manipulative spirit. When you step into this realm, you must understand that you are not just dealing with obedient servant. You are passing the veil into a world containing highly intelligent, deeply ancient, and incredibly manipulative spirits. If you summon an entity and fail to meet its precise demands, or if you break your end of a spiritual pact, you will not just experience failure, you will see hell on earth. You will exploit your fears, attack your mind, destabilize your life, and attempt to break your sanity. Even when dealing with entities where a pact reached, you must maintain absolute authority. You do your part, and you demand they do theirs. There is no room for weakness. There is no room for weakness. There is no room for weakness. In this video, I did not edit this video. I record this video without editing. Let me tell you exactly what happened to me the very first time I tested this reality, so you understand the physical the physical price of curiosity. My first ritual, when the room turned sideways. I was alone in the room, isolated, having completed the strict foundations of cleanliness and preparations. I drew my protective circle, my hissar, and began the conjunction. I believe I was prepared. I was wrong. The moment the final commanding name left my mouth, the atmospheric pressure changed violently. It felt as though a crushing immense physical weight dropped onto my shoulders. My breath caught. Suddenly, the perspective of my eyes warped. The entire room visually turned completely sideways. Then came the physical audio, the signs. Sharp, aggressive knocking vibrated against the window glass, shattering the night silence. Then a sudden dead, crushing vacuum of absolute silence fell over the piece, accompanied by a thick, heavy smell of damp earth, as if a grave had just opened in the room. The temperature plummeted into an extreme biting cold. Trembling but desperate for answers, I spoke onto the freezing air. Can you show me yourself? May I know you? What is your name? The shadow at the door. In response to my words, a thick, dense shadow manifested across the room, taking the shape of a person sitting right by the door. Panic seized my chest. Every human instinct told me to run, to scramble out of the room, to flee. But in the split of a terror, the absolute rule of Albuni flashed through my mind. Never under any circumstances leave the protective cycle. Because the room was still visually tilted sideways, I was physically sliding, my body losing its equilibrium, drifting towards the edge of my cycle. Leaving that boundary meant total vulnerability to whatever was sitting by the door. I threw both my hands flat onto the floor, gripping the ground with all my strength to maintain my physical balance inside the perimeter. Suddenly, a massive psychic illusion filled my mind. I saw a colossal ancient tree violently uprooting and crushing down directly towards me. It felt entirely real, but I gripped the floor, anchored my mind, and maintained myself. I refused to break. When the illusion faded and the room regained itself, I knew the truth. I have looked into the unseen, and it had looked back. I am telling you this, finally. Before we proceed, kindly click away from this video if you cannot withstand it. Close the book and walk away. If you can withstand it, you will gain almost. I cannot guarantee you all, but you can get almost everything you want. I believe this book is going to remain from now till the end of the time, because I know I will remain. I will remain. My voice will remain till the end of the time. Most practitioners look at the Shams al-Ma'arif of Ahmad al-Buni and sees nothing but dead geometry, historical ink, and theoretical magic squares. They lack the eyes to see because they have never sat in the Kalwa, spiritual isolation. They have never felt the temperature in the room drop as a Khadim answers a recitation, nor have they worn a ring that throbs with a bond entity's presence. For 17 years, I have walked this path. The greatest secret a practitioner learns over nearly 2 decades is this: the unseen world does not operate on human time, but it never misses its mark. The threshold of reality and the law of the cycle.